Right. Let me on my turn on. Okay, I'll be with Nicholas. I'll be covering the digitalization of the fashion industry. Basically, our industry is definitely disrupted. I mean, which industry is not disrupted? Actually, that would be the interesting part. And then Nick will talk about our most talk
label.
about the label SG. All
Yep.
right. So let me just jump right in. Okay. Right. This is our TaF.tc collage of all the places we've been and the people and the activities. So we are a global fashion school without boundaries. We've come a long way in the past 37 years. I like what Thomas said, four decades. From a very small training center to what we are today. And we developed the Textile and Fashion WSQ framework in collaboration with the Singapore Workforce Development Agency, which is today known as Skills Future Singapore. I think Skills Future Singapore is quite renowned because TaF.tc is actually engaged with Singapore Poly to help out in competency standards development in Bangladesh. So last few days I've been working with the Bangladesh government officials. So we started off, actually we were one of the first company in Singapore that started the Place and Train program for the sewing operators. And we are also the first CET, which is the Continuous Education Training Center. And we are edu-trusted. And we have more than 100 professional short courses, which is actually the right count is 174. And just give me 1 minute. All right. So that's me. I'm the Chief Executive of TaF.tc. So the topic for today is digitalizing the fashion industry. The impact of COVID-2019 on the fashion industry is not only on the retail front. All right, what we are seeing is at the retail front, like Brooks Brothers. I mean, I was actually quite surprised when Nick told me Brooks Brothers is closing. I said, cannot be. They have been doing very, very well. And they're actually quite digitalized because they are one of the first retailers that actually has body scanning technology, digital customized making of suits and shirts. And then we've got J. Crew, and of course, I'm just covering like Bangladesh being the second largest apparel exporter for US. The country itself is also under a lot of stress because many people are employed in the government sector, and when the apparel retail stores close, so they will also cancel orders, and so will the garment factories. And when garment factories close, there will be massive unemployment because each garment factory easily employ anywhere from 500 to 10,000 workers. Yeah. And then of course in Singapore, we read about recession, Singapore having the worst ever quarterly contraction of 13.2%, right? So it all sounds pretty dim. Oh, having said that, the only thing that is not very dim, surprisingly, with all this sadness, is that the US stock market, well, Tito, if you are in the group chat, the only thing that is doing very well right now is actually the US stock market, especially in tech. The share prices just go up sky high. I have no reason or no rationale over this. Of course, I know that their revenue and profits have gone up a lot because everybody now have to go online. It's no longer an option, it's a must. Although everybody is going online, I must say that e-commerce is not offsetting the sales declines in store. There's a consumer survey done by McKinsey in April. They show that there are declines in purchase intent of about 70 to 80% in offline, and there's only about 30 to 40% in online in Europe and North America. So even in countries that haven't been under full lockdown, they are already seeing some kind of decline. Although many people say that most people have shifted to e-commerce, but the shift is not big enough in comparison to the decline. So consumers are spending more time online. Just give me a minute. Yep. Consumers are spending more time on activities such as texting, chatting, and messaging. Even for me, sometimes I wake up, I said, oh, I'll just reply a few messages. And next thing I know, 1 hour is gone. So time just passed very quickly when you're online. Or reading news online. I still like my newspaper, but I know that online is better because each time I got an article I want to share, instead of taking a picture of the newspaper and if I send to someone, they were like, huh, what's that? It's better if I send something online, then my friends can read and share with me as well. Social media, video content, movies. I think I have watched more movies during this period than in the past, even though I'm very busy, but what else can you do? Video games, um, reading print news, and working. It says that they say increase in working actually reduced, but for me it seems to have gone up a lot. But so you can see that the increased activities are more digital. That means everybody is spending more time online. All right. I just want to share that although now that more people are spending time online, it means your customer are also online. So everyone should try to generate demand online. TaF.tc is very lucky because when we first started, when my partner, Mr. and I, start taking over from the federation and start working on in TaF.tc, which has been actually losing money for many, many years. In fact, we just had our AGM, and the ex honorary president to us that when he handed over the company for us to manage, we were in minus a deficit in the equity of about close to 500,000. But today is the other way around. One of the things I want to share is that because we did not have money, we were the first to sign up with Google in year 2000 because at that time Gmail was free for us. I mean, TaF.tc, even though it's a school, we actually registered for no fee. And on top of that, because newspaper print ads are very expensive, we started advertising on Google. I still remember those days where my accounts asked me, is there a spelling error? You mean Google Advert, not Google AdWord? We never even heard of Google AdWord those days. So having said that, we have always been digital, always trying to get people digitally through our digital marketing, SEO, SEM, and all that. So I would now say to you, or all those of you who are doing business, you should really shift your focus to online demand generation, and shift your focus from brand building to performance marketing. What do I mean by that? When I first had marketing executives, I remember they always tell me, oh, this is for marketing. And it means that I will not be able to see any conversion in sales. They say, oh, it takes time to convert to sales. But I refuse to give into that. And I say, no, if you tell me it's for brand building, tell me when will my sales show. All right. So I have always talked to marketing agencies who most of the time don't really like me because I say, I don't care about your impressions. I don't care about your leads. I care about the sales. So they say, oh, but it depends on your product. I say, then tell me, is there something wrong with my product? So you have to be very, you must hold tight to that belief that you must watch your sales all the time. And don't be impressed by all these other fluff numbers that may or may not mean something. Of course, I agree that leads are better than impressions because at least you know that you got somebody who have come to your website or your social media and know you, and you can follow up with them. All right. So as I say again, focus on performance marketing. All right. And the other one is please allocate some budget for highest impact targeted paid channels. one of the things I realized, most entrepreneurs don't really want to spend money on marketing online, because they find the results may not be that great. However, if you don't spend at all, then you won't even have a chance. In the early days, I believe, yes, you can just use social media and all that to get some traction. But I think, imagine if you were Google or Facebook, would you lead the consumers or rather the population within your platform to someone who have not paid you any income? Although there's nothing that says that this is my own assumption, yeah? But I based on my experience, I felt that all these paid channels actually do bring in results for me. And I think even with the label SG, because I did not put all the money on PR, I decided to put on advertisement. It actually yield pretty good results for us. I mean, I'm not so sure whether this number sounds great or not. There were only 3 designers on that platform then, and we raised we sold about $100,000 over 6 weeks. All right, I leave that more information about that to Nicholas. You can ask him more information. I also think that you should really adjust search engine optimization, just like our CTO and also marketing strategist, Andre. He always tell me, oh, we need to add some more words, we need to fine tune some words and so forth. So I think that is something that you have to do, and each time when you have maybe a different situation or campaign. The next one is to tailor on-site messaging to address current situation. So when someone comes to your website, you must be able to give some messaging out to them depending on the current situation, or what's latest in your store, so-called your store, even our site, what's latest in our school. There's a lot of on-site messaging to address current situation. And then to launch and optimize targeted markdowns and promotions. One thing I like about digital is that whoever come in, you are able to really granularly break down who are your customers, who are they, what are they looking for, to study the data, because it's all digital data. I remember when I went to Beijing last year, and I was looking at a e-learning platform, and I was talking to this guy, and I said, oh, do you have a survey function in your e-learning? He said something to me that made me feel really silly. He says, why do you need to survey your customer whether they like your e-learning? If based on their digital footprint, can't you tell whether they have enjoyed their e-learning? All right, so if they are interested, they will have post questions, they have gone through all the materials, they wouldn't drop up halfway and things like that. So I think that is actually a very important thing that we should all learn, to see how we can use data generated from our e-commerce site. And also, a few weeks ago, I was also a guest speaker in one of this fashion platform. I would like to say that we should look at customer, not only online and offline, but the customer who is offline and online should be experiencing the same experience as though they are online when they're offline, and when they're offline, they are same as they're online. So to me, that's like an omni-channel thing. And because you know your customer so well, you can introduce bundles, special offers, and innovative discounts based on their digital footprint. Okay, I don't know whether there are questions here. Let me see if I got any questions here first. Nicholas, will you help me take a look whether there are any questions here?
No, not now.
Not at the moment, huh? Okay, yep. Then go back here again. Is it back to the big screen, right? Nicholas?
Yep.
Okay, all right. All right, then the next area that, because we are all talking about e-commerce and so forth, digital marketing, I think we also must look at the operation side. although you are already online selling, but I don't think many of you are digitalizing your operations. I would also recommend that, not in fact, I would strongly recommend that you should try to digitalize your operations. We call accelerate online capabilities, right? So, for example, supplier relationship. So, just a good example, like in TaF.tc, we are now having a partner who delivers their sewing machine on loan to our students. So, is there any way that we can strengthen that relationship by plugging them into our system so that is seamless? All right. And also for me to meet my supplier, to talk to them and see how we can both work out a win-win solution. Just like Clara mentioned just now, said that during this period of time, it's really important for her to reach out to her suppliers, because the lockdown and all that is not easy. I think as much as not easy for us, it's also not easy for our suppliers. So for me, I remember when the first lockdown came in, I immediately reached out to Bansun, the sewing machine distributor. I said, we are going to die if we're not going to do anything. What I mean by die means that we're going to lose a lot of sales. So why don't we do this? You tell me your best price that you can rent to me the sewing machine versus me, how much I can accept. At that point in time, I remember what Jack Ma said. During this period, just stay alive, stay afloat. And the only way to stay alive and stay afloat is that you must have revenue. All right. So that's something that with that, we have a virtual handshake and we gone into business in terms of supporting each other. He still get his business in the sewing machines, and I get my business in getting the students. So you'll be surprised how much your supplier can partner with you. So please strengthen your supplier relationship. The other one is the omni-channel management of stocks. So you can't really say, oh, I've got stock, X amount of stock online, and I put X amount of stock in the store and X amount of stock in a warehouse. You have to think about collectively how much stocks you have. I don't have a solution or a recommendation right now, but I actually imagine that you should be looking at the stock in totality rather than how much in the store, how much in shop B, shop A, and so forth. So that's something that digitalization will help. Just like when I was talking to someone in Bangladesh, I realized that they don't really have an inventory system. It was using Excel sheet. And every month he have emailed the Excel sheet to his boss. And then I just asked him, why didn't you use Google Sheet? Because Google Sheet means you don't have to email your boss. It's collected on a live basis. And then that's when I realized that they don't really know about Google Sheets. So some simple solutions like that could be easily used. Then you have to also look at how you prepare fulfillment and customer support capacity, but make it online. So your customer don't have to call you or text you or whatever. They can go to their account and actually see where is their product. Just like when most of you who shop on Shopee or QO10, you can actually see where your product status is. And also customer support, where they can text you on the app. So everything is on a one-stop shop. And to focus on user, I'm now on this point, focus on user interface and user experience. Easier said than done. I always talk about that, but sometimes I also find that our website do have a bit of a challenge. However, do not wait until it's perfect before you launch out, because you have to continue to work based on this thing called agile. So agile means that it's not perfect, you roll out, but you continue to iterate. This is quite a different kind of thinking from the past. In the past, I remember that nothing is perfected, cannot be rolled out. Must be perfected, then rolled out. Otherwise, everybody will complain, hey, why this, why that? But this is how we're going to do. Why this, why that? And then we improve. All right. And everyone must have the mindset of how to improve it and not boycott the system if the system is not perfect or the user interface is not that great. Okay. So focus on that user interface and the user experience. And to investigate opportunities to create special offer for loyal customer. Also, one of the designers said just now, it's not easy to find new customers now. So let's focus on our loyal customers. I'm sure you can get a lot more mileage from your loyal customers than having to find a new customer. Okay, so that's something that you can find out how often your customer has been coming to your shop, what the things he buy, and then you can either upsell, cross-sell, or whatever. And make an effort to communicate proactively with your customers. Like what we are doing now with our open house, we are reaching out to not only new students, but also our existing customers. Because just now we interacted with some students, they were actually past students who have taken 1 or 2 modules and then want to take more courses with us. So again, I stress on acceleration online capability is not just on digital marketing. In fact, you can even have digital marketing without an e-commerce store. But to me, it's very wasted money because all the marketing that you get, the person cannot go straight and buy something. If you have an e-commerce site, you can bring all your marketing efforts and bring that person to your e-shop so that you can actually have a sale transaction straight away.
Hi Doreen, sorry, only got 10 minutes.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah.
So on the digital and digital analytics can transform domains in every part of the supply chain. So we're talking about customer experience, supply chain, and product development and support function. For those of you who do not know, you should know that, I do not know how many people are out here, but this is a technology where you can customize your jeans in terms of the finishing process, right? All right. And our school will eventually teach the digital design for the jeans. So this will be very interesting for someone who is doing jeans like curbside. And then, of course, virtual prototyping. Our school is teaching virtual prototyping for all those who are doing your diploma in apparel design. So you can see that you can actually sell more online now. You can sell lots of virtual clothes because you don't have to make real clothes until somebody really want to buy your clothes. All right. Lead time may be a bit longer for you because you haven't made any of them. All right. But more and more retailers are right now looking at that. In fact, just yesterday alone, 2 government manufacturers asked me if I've got students who can actually do virtual prototyping. They are interested to employ them or at least employ them for freelance or full-time, depending on what the students want. Okay. And to collaborate across the board, so you can have pattern makers working with the technical designer, working with the designer, working with the manufacturers. So this can be done on a virtual platform, which I think Chi-Seng has seen it. It's called clo-set.com. Also one of those collaborative platforms developed by Clo Treaty. And just now we talk about, it's so hard to do sourcing. Yes, of course, when you go down to the place, you will find things. But given the current situation, we really have to do digital sourcing. So actually, we have another pet project that we are doing now for Myanmar. But I think I would like to roll out more to more students and more countries. It's actually our material sourcing platform. And we have actually, I think we have about 40 manufacturers who have already sent boxes of materials to us, and Vidya has painstakingly take picture of every single one of them so that we can create a digital library. And this is my interesting solution that I found, and we are talking to the people here because due to time constraint, I'll skip that. But if those of you who are interested, you can do a search and say Bespokify. It basically allows you to make, let me see whether I can click this. It allows you to make garments without drawing a paper pattern. That means you just enter the dimensions, create a paper pattern. Let me see whether here. So imagine you pick all your measurements here, right? And the type of silhouette you want. And voila, they will produce a paper pattern for you. Okay? And then you can then cut and sew. So digital and analytics will drive top line growth and improve our lead time, our cost, our flexibility, and our sustainability across the supply chain. I can say that because I have spent a lot of money on digitalization. Some of my partners and board of directors may find it shocking, but I realize that it actually helps to increase our productivity and efficiency a lot. So do really imagine how to shop in a digital world. Don't just digitize the shopping process, which is a manual process, to a digital process, because maybe we have to dream a bit more. My dream is to be able to shop like Ready Player One. Those of you who watch Ready Player One, you'll know what I mean. Those who have not watched, please go watch that movie and fire your imagination further. All right. And how does TaF.tc prepare our graduates for the future? We have the label SG, which I'm going to hand over to Nicholas. But we also have another one that's called Alter Around, which is about alterations. I think Meng Chen have already talked about that. And then we also partner with our federation, the Bridge Fashion Incubator, as well as with Charlotte on Boutiques Fair in Singapore. But unfortunately for Boutiques Fair, I don't think they can run it. They are trying to pivot into a digital one. So that's another platform again for us to look at. So with that, I say thank you. And over to you, Nick.
Thanks, Doreen, for sharing all the digitalization efforts in the industry and what digitalization initiatives that TaF.tc is trying to drive. Let me just say this, that after I've been here for about 3 years, and everything that we are trying to preach is not something that is conceptual. Everything that we are preaching is actually something that we have done in our own company in TaF.tc. If some students that have been here, you will know the ebook phase where a lot of people were against it, and we finally pushed through after almost 1 year. Some people were willing to pay $30 per module just for the course notes in paper. And finally, I can say that we don't have any of such requests anymore. And we have fully digitalized the ebook component, and all of you will be using ebooks. The same for our attendance sheets. So everything we do, we have done it before, and we believe it works because we are doing it ourselves. Okay, so right now I'm going to talk a little bit about Label SG and what it's about. So Label SG is actually an initiative that was created in the mind of not just for charity, but also because we wanted to create a platform for the alumni graduates, diploma graduates, to actually come, interact, have a community, and also sell some of their services and goods. So the idea has always been there, but because of COVID, there was an opportunity that was presented to us by the Breast Cancer Foundation in collaboration with 3 designers, which I will talk about later, to create a website to actually sell masks, which is one of the things that is really quite hot right now. A lot of people are buying fabric masks, designer masks, because that's the one thing that everyone has to wear, and people are interested to invest the money to look different, basically. So this then accelerated the birth of this e-commerce platform, which is the Label SG. So like I said, what is the Label SG about is to actually support our alumni and local fashion designers to showcase and sell their upcoming collections. So what we do to support local labels is that we promote, market, and expose them. So initially, when this project was started, we only did it with 3 designers, and the only thing we were selling was masks. But if you go to the website right now, you will see that you have bags, you have cheongsam, you have shoes, you have a lot of accessories and apparel. So this is because after the mask project, we have continued to onboard new designers that are actually our graduates onto the platform, so that they can actually start selling their items on a different platform aside from their own website, if they have any. The point of this is so that for businesses that don't have websites, they are able to jump on the platform, and they will be able to easily sell items straight away. But for businesses that have already their own website that they're selling on, they can tap onto the Label SG, where TaF.tc actually spends marketing dollars on this, and be able to sell really quickly. Okay. Okay, so for TaF.tc and the Breast Cancer Foundation collaboration, there were 3 designers that I talked about. So on the left is Ann Teo, the middle is Esther Tay, and on the right is Sylvia. So these 3 designers are veteran designers that honestly were not from my time. Doreen knows them. I got to know them throughout this project. But it's very nice to see that the veteran designers from the past are actually coming back together and creating or joining together and collaborating on a project like this. And I would say that this project was rather immensely successful. So like Doreen mentioned, we actually raised $100,000 in sales. I wouldn't say raised, but we sold $100,000 of masks in just about under 6 weeks, from 10th of June to 31st July. And 10% of that was donated to the Breast Cancer Foundation. To be honest, for a website that was created in about 3 to 4 weeks, and with totally from scratch, but all by Singaporeans, by our team, and to sell $100,000 of masks in such a short time, I think is a pretty good feat. So the Label SG have 3 press mentions in, I think, about late July. So we actually came out in the Straits Times, late June, sorry, Straits Times, CNA, and also Lianhe Wanpao. And for digital marketing, we employ 2 methods. So we do SEO and social media marketing. So what does SEO mean? SEO, if any of you have joined the Diploma in Fashion Business Talk, you will know what SEO is. SEO involves making certain changes to your website design and content so that it makes your site more attractive to a search engine. So this will include putting keywords, meta descriptions, and the length of description need to be optimal. So this is what you see on the left side. Also, we also do SEM, which is search engine marketing. So basically, those are paid ads. So we attract customers based on their profile and the consumption preferences that can be found on Facebook. So if you want to know more, do join our Diploma Fashion Business, which also consists of the 5 digital marketing modules that gives you a flavor of what is digital marketing about. If you want to learn the next level, wait till next year, because TaF.tc is bringing out the level 2 and level 3 of the digital marketing courses. Okay, so what are the future plans? Of course, the future plan will be to build the e-commerce portion, which will enable more people to sell their products, not just sell their products, but sell it more efficiently to increase their revenue. Okay, we're going to also have forums, which will allow people who sign up on the website to talk to each other about TaF.tc courses, about items, and discuss about other things. We're also going to have events that will be populated from different places so that you can easily come onto this website, join events that we have our partnerships with. It makes it a lot easier. Basically, the Label SG is to become a one-stop shop for all these functions. And finally, we're going to have a career portal where companies can actually put their jobs there, and those people who are interested to find out more about career opportunities can go to the Label SG. Finally, which is not in this slide, we are actually thinking of putting a Launchpad-like feature, which is something like Kickstarter, because I think in the recent years, there are a lot of businesses that pop up. And especially in the fashion industry, you have people that are interested in just making clothes and selling them. So it's very easy relatively to start a business in the fashion industry. And having a Launchpad-like platform will actually enable people to basically launch their brands more successfully. And so we want to help facilitate that. So that's the end of my speech. If you want to contact us at the Label SG, this is the email, and the website is over there. And if you want to contact me directly, okay, sorry, there's a typo here, but you can contact me at email. I'll drop my number in the chat box. Okay, that's all. Thank you.